Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Cash Michaels and Rick Henderson. Representative Justin Burr, better known as the sponsor of the judicial redistricting bill, has sponsored another one. This one would require that teachers report how many and what movies they're showing to their students and the instructional purpose for them. Monthly totals would be required on the number, percentage of classroom viewing and a movie, and how much instructional time was actually spent. You think this is a good idea? What's the real reason for this, Rick?
Well, there are going to be all sorts of nefarious reasons asserted for why this is in place, but actually it's not a bad transparency move if you think about it, because if teachers are spending a lot of time showing video presentations, whether they are feature-length movies or instructional videos or whatever, and not interacting with class members, that's an issue. Now, also the idea of requiring them to do this and to inventory that, say as part of their lesson plan or something like that, is not a bad idea, simply because there will be films that will be shown that will be misinterpreted by outside groups, the culture warriors from the left and the right, who will say, wait, they're showing this film about sex education to kids who are too young for it, or something along those lines. If this reporting is required, we will know what film was shown, what was the instructional purpose, what it was. It won't be coming out through some secondary or tertiary channel that people don't understand.
Cash, it just rings to me of censorship, and maybe I'm reading into it, as Rick said, some nefarious motives, but it almost kind of rings that that's the ultimate purpose here. Do you get that?
Well, we sure use that word nefarious a lot on this show lately. Rick is one of the few conservatives I have a great deal of affection for, but I must tell you, I find it extraordinary that Republicans ran for office and in many cases won offices saying that we are trying to micromanage school systems from the federal government, from the state government. And now we're going to justify telling our state lawmakers what movie is being seen in your child's classroom. Never mind that there's a principal at that school. Never mind that there is a school board in that community. What? Why? Just this past semester, my daughter came home and had me fill out a permission slip. Her Spanish class. They were going to watch one of my favorite films. I know that my friend John Hood would like it too, I think. Mask of Zorro with Antonio Banderas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Now, the film was done in English, but they were watching a Spanish version with English subtitles. And it's a great movie, nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful romance, action, everything and so forth. She wouldn't see it to save her life if I told her about it. But she and her class got a chance to watch it, and they enjoyed it. And there was nothing wrong with it at all. Why in the world does Justin Burr or anybody else need to know about that? If the principal of that school had a problem with it, or the school board had a problem with it, that's where that should go to. Not state lawmakers. That's ridiculous.
Rebuttal.
First of all, the reporting will take place after the fact, and so it's not going to be something that's going to happen. They're not going to have to pre-screen the list of movies that can be shown. It's going to be part of it. Well, that would be a concern. That would be an issue if that indeed happened.
I was getting ready to say, for a guy who's a newspaper guy.
I would say, but no, I think it's an accountability measure. And yes, there are going to be people who are going to do things that are going to use these as examples of, well, why are you showing To Kill a Mockingbird? What are you trying to do here? What message are you trying to get across? Well, you're trying to educate kids. And to actually have that listed, I think, is not a bad thing at all. I mean, after all, we have to remember that children are given over to the care and feeding of the state, if you will, for several hours a day, every day, from the time they are 4 years old until they are 18 years old. And at a minimum, parents ought to have the right to know what's going on in the classroom without micromanaging every minute of it.
But Rick, we have a principal and a school board for that. What are we paying them for? We just got through. We have Republican lawmakers who are bragging about the fact that they've given teachers 6.5 pay raise, and I forget how much they've given.
6.9.
6, whatever, and that they've given principals a pay raise too. What are they paying them more money for than to let them do their jobs?
It's simply telling them what's going on in the classroom. That's all it is.
Well, it hasn't passed.
No.
The legislation hasn't passed, but we are going to be watching it, and we thank you for watching the Afterspin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.